It's the name Sin City.
It's not where you go, it's when you go.
They're like, I want to see the Strip. I'm like, why?
It's constantly growing.
So much to do, so much to see.
I haven't found a better view of the city.
It's the American dream.
Hey there, everybody. I'm here with Georgie, and she is from Cowboy Trail Rides. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having us out.
What an amazing experience we had at your place.
Thank you. I'm glad everybody had a good time.
The staff was incredible. The horses were awesome. Can I say horses, or do I have to say mules too, or mix of both?
They're both. We have mules and horses, and we have mixtures of them.
Nice. Well, the scenery to begin with is just amazing. The red rock in the background and everything, what you built out there is just incredible, and we want to get it out to as many people as possible.
Well, we would love for you to do that. I agree. Red Rock Canyon is absolutely gorgeous with the painted mountains of all shades of reds and purples, and just gorgeous out there. A lot of wildlife out there we see too.
What kind of wildlife?
We have everything from chipmunks and rabbits and chuckers, which are the desert quail, red-tailed hawks, owls, eagles. And then we have also things like kit foxes, coyote, bobcat. We have wild mustangs, wild burros. Across the highway from us, there's deer. Up on the mountains, we have bighorn sheep. So there's quite a bit of wildlife out there.
How long have you been out there?
I've been out there for 23 years, but Cowboy Trail Ride's been out there for a little over 25 years.
Oh, wow. And is it still just as beautiful every time you go up there?
It is. I went out there as a customer, and my daughter asked him for a job, and she had horses since she was a tiny little girl, and they hired her, and I never left.
That's how it all started?
That's how it started.
How awesome is that? I mean, my daughter's 15, and when she got there, I could tell she had that look on her face like, I want to work here.
Look out, Dad.
Yeah, she's started high school. She's doing the veterinarian program because
Yeah.
we have goats and pigs and chickens and a horse ourselves. So
That's great.
It wasn't. She loved it. My wife had an awesome time, and you put me on a big horse named Elvis.
Elvis is great, isn't he?
Oh, he's awesome. We have a paint. He's in California now, and his name's Roosevelt, and he's about 16 hands. And Elvis felt like he was about the same.
Yes, he is.
He's a big boy.
Now, we have some really big horses. My husband, who's Big Jim, is 6'7".
Is he really?
Yes, so we have some big horses. They got to be able to carry Jim.
To accommodate 6'7". So is he the one who made all those beautiful saddles?
Yes, he is. He has a saddlery shop, and he makes all the saddles, everything on the horses, all the tack, the breeches, the breast collars, the bridles, all of that. He makes everything from scratch.
They were beautiful.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Every single, because you have a lot of horses. How many horses do you have out there?
Right now we're down to about 65 or 70 head of horses and mules.
Down? You had more than that?
Yes, we've been up to a couple hundred head of horses.
That's a lot of hay.
It is a lot of hay.
Because I buy hay right now for our goats, and I complain about picking up 6 bales. How many bales are you picking up?
Well, per day we feed 12 bales of hay per day.
Wow.
And they're 3 stringers, so they're pretty heavy when they're moist, when they're fresh.
And who does all the feeding out there?
I help. The wranglers mainly do all of the feeding, and we feed with a tractor. We load it into the front end loader and go through the pens. We have big tires, like tractor tires in the pens. Yeah. We put the hay in the pen so that it doesn't blow away. You know, it gets quite windy out here and your hay blows away. And it's pretty expensive to feed all those horses.
I would say I can't imagine, but I can imagine. And they look pretty well fed too.
They are always well fed. If you look at their feet are always in perfect condition. Both my grandson Mikey and my husband Jim are master farriers.
Oh, really?
Yes, and Jim doctors all of our horses, and he trains all our horses.
They were pretty much bomb-proof. I mean, you could take any level of experience out there, right?
Yes, we can.
Because we had some in our group who that was their first time.
Yes, and if you notice that day, we line everybody up and ask them, have you ridden before? Are you scared? You a little nervous? You know, how much have you ridden? And we match the people up with the horses by experience, by how nervous they are, by how tall they are, how much they weigh. Everything is matched up with the horses.
I saw that right away. I love how you guys calculate that and just match the right fit with the right horse. Now,
Right.
that's important.
It's very important. And also our safety talk prior to the ride to make sure that everybody understands how to maneuver their horse. And we try to keep it as simple as possible, left and right, backing up, stopping.
What goes into the training of those horses? Because I saw there was besides our group, there were some people out there who weren't very experienced on horses, and yours were pretty much bomb-proof. They just led the way.
Yeah, they do. But they've been doing it every day for as long as they've been with us. And most of those horses have been there for quite some time, some as much as 15, 20 years. And Jim, like I say, is a trainer. Mikey's a trainer. And we train horses that come off of ranches, horses that come off of private individual homes, you know, so they come from the full range. So we take them and string them to our other horses, and we take them up and down the mountains and along the trails. We do things that would normally spook a horse, like throw a shiny plastic water bottle at their feet, or wave our jacket sleeves above their heads, take a plastic bag next to them. Anything that's not a normal, natural sound to them could spook them. We get them so incredibly used to that kind of movement and sound and smell of things that nothing bothers them.
That was one of the most amazing things that we saw, and my wife noticed right away. We both have been around horses our whole life since we were little kids, and to see the training that went into that and the fact that they don't get spooked by that, because a lot of the people who come visit don't really know how to act in front of horses, and there's a certain way even walking behind them. And yours were trained really well, so great job to
Yeah,
you, your
they're-
staff, everybody there. That was amazing.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time and effort into them, and we teach them their patience. We tie them up saddled so that they know to stand still when they're saddled. So because people that don't know how to ride don't know how to get on either.
Right.
So they can't get on a horse if he's dancing around. He's got to be able to stand still. And if you noticed, we had a set of steps with a platform for those people who have either physical disabilities or just afraid to get on the horse. They can just go right up the steps and stand there, and the horse will walk right up to them. All they have to do is sit down.
As easy as that.
Just as easy as that.
So what is the age limit?
7 years old and up.
7.
And that's an insurance law. And they have to be 7 years old to ride on the trail, and then, of course, be able to maneuver their horse left and right. We can pony them, which means we hang on to the lead rope for them.
Okay.
You know, most of the time, it's not the children that are nervous, it's the parent.
Right.
So we will hang on to your child and keep them safe.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's times where you never know what's going to happen out there, but we have a really great track record. You know, people are really safe out there.
Another thing that surprised us is we thought we were just going to have just a straight, you know, just ride, and we went uphill, downhill, around bushes.
That's right.
And you had somebody leading us in the front and in the back.
Yes, we have a wrangler for every 6 people. So, you know, we always add on extra help, and we'll add more wranglers, the guides, if we have people that are really scared or a lot of first-time riders. We'll add on more help. And then, like you say, our trails are winding. We do open range riding. We don't go in a straight line and turn around and come back. We circle the valley, or we'll go down inside the canyon, or we'll climb up to the top of the mountain. Our rim ride in the morning climbs to the top of 6,000 feet.
Oh, wow. That's
And-
the 8 a.m.?
Yes, that's at 8 a.m., and then it comes down the inside rim of the canyon on the inside of the wall.
And that's a 2-hour ride?
That's a 2-hour ride.
So we definitely are going back to do that one. I'm thinking about all 3 of them, because there is a late night one that comes with dinner as well.
That's correct. We have a barbecue steak dinner, and it's a good one. You have a choice of a boneless ribeye steak or chicken or salmon, and we also offer a vegetarian meal too. And that's served up with all the fixins. We've got Dutch oven potatoes, baked beans, corn on the cob, green salad, and your beverages. And then afterward, we sit under the stars and roast marshmallows and make s'mores, have hot chocolate, especially in the wintertime.
Did you hear that? That was my stomach growling right now. That sounded yummy.
Yeah, you have to come out and try the...
I saw the fire pit
steaks.
over there. I mean, it's probably just gotten better every year you guys are out there.
It
because
has.
that whole setup is so impressive. And the one thing I do every December for my clients, I do a client appreciation party. And my wife kept, nudging me that day, like, this is where we're doing it, this is where we're doing it, because it just seems like the perfect setup for that.
It is. We do a lot of groups out there, and small groups and large groups, it doesn't matter. And it never seems to lose its personal kind of at-home feeling. You get out there with a lot of people, you would think it would lose that, and it doesn't. It's pretty comfortable, and everybody seems to just sit back and have a good time. And for groups, we also offer extra amenities, music, country western music, live bands. We offer barn dances. We also have cattle events. If you do a team building event, we can do team penning. We have games that we can do, the horseshoe pitching, bow and arrow, hatchet throwing. So we also show them how to rope. So there's a lot of different things that you can come out and do.
Covers
with a group.
all ages. How big of a group can you have?
500 people.
Oh my God.
So we rotate the groups. We'll take 25 or 30 people and put them on the horses. And while the next 25 or 30 people are saddling up, we'll have the rest of the people, some throwing hatchets, some throwing pitching horseshoes. Others are over there learning a barn dance step. And we rotate the group.
A lot of moving
So every
pieces.
15, 20 minutes, we rotate the group so that everybody gets a chance to do everything.
That sounds like a good time.
Yep, and then everybody comes in and comes up through the chow line, and we dish up their dinner, and everybody eats at the same time.
That sounds like a blast.
We
There's a
can-
good chance I'm going to have my party there this year.
And we'll have enough grills and enough help out there to do 500 steaks at one time.
And you thought of everything out there. There was even restrooms out there. Anything you need, you have out there. So.
Yes. Yes, we finally got our running water out there for the restrooms. For years we weren't allowed to put that out there. We had to do everything on skids. So, but we finally figured it out.
You set up a beautiful facility.
Well, thank you.
What kind of horses are? I saw some paints. I saw some mules. I saw maybe even a Mustang. Or
Yes, we have Mustangs. Our mules, some of them are even part Halflinger, which are the ones that look like miniature Clydesdales.
Yes,
They're really, really pretty.
they are.
Our mules are half and half, some of them. Some are half draft. We have the quarter horses, and we have Mustangs. We have a wide variety of horses.
Which pretty much helps you all ages and all sizes.
Yes, and temperament. Okay, that's what we look for. We look for the temperament in the horse and the willingness, to be there to work for you.
So I've been in Las Vegas now for almost 20 years, and this is the first time I've heard of your place.
Yes,
So
I've heard we're the best kept secret in Vegas. So I'm really glad that you're trying to get the word out.
It shouldn't be a secret, and that's why we started this, because I've been a real estate agent here for 20 years, and I tell people how great Las Vegas is, but it has so much more to offer than the Strip. And last week we did the trains in Boulder City. We did your wonderful place. So this lets people know we shouldn't have secrets like this.
Yeah,
this
these are-
isn't a secret you want to keep.
Yeah,
Everybody
we have
should know
treasures
about
out
this.
here.
I just don't know how you guys set up such a perfect, marriage between a great trail ride and a beautiful location. I mean, it's just...
Well, Jim had the permits through the BLM, that's the Bureau of Land Management, and had the trails, and he would shoe horses, and he would keep a couple of horses out there. But when I met Jim, he had 2 horses, and his friend had another horse, and then he had a couple of other friends that had a couple of horses, so anytime anybody wanted to ride, he'd go borrow horses.
And it just grew from there.
And then I went out as a customer, and at the time I was working for a tour company which represented an airline coming in from the UK. So my daughter and I went out to ride, and she had been on a horse and she was about 4 years old and had lessons and had been to a number of kids camps for equine, kids camp. So by the time she was 15, she was quite an experienced rider. And I took her out there for her birthday to go trail riding. And it was just a fluke. And she asked them for a job. They hired her. She didn't have a driver's license yet, so Mom had to drive her back and forth. And I tried it, loved it, took it to my boss, and he helped me put it in all of the brochures across Europe.
So you get actually international travelers who
We
come out?
get a great deal of international travelers.
That's great. And the good thing is your horses are so bomb proof that even if there's a language barrier there, they pretty much know what to do.
Right, because the horses don't care what language you're speaking. As long as you can maneuver the reins when we tell you this is how you do it, left and right, this is whoa, and that's basically what they have to know.
Yeah, and you told me just hold the reins, control it, just like a joystick, right or left, and it was just that easy to control the horses. You did get me really excited that I'm taking lessons again. My first one's on Saturday. So even though I've been around horses and riding my whole life, you need to know what you're doing. Not all horses are bomb-proof like yours. So you got me that hunger back. So
Well, I'm glad
this
to hear
Saturday I
it.
have my first lesson. I probably won't need too many, but it's nice to have that refresher, and even getting on the horse the right way was nice, how you were showing everybody how to do it.
Oh, that's great. It's good to hear, and it's nice to have the feedback. You'll have to come out when we're building trails and all. We build the trails for BLM, Forestry Department, Department of Interior.
I am doing the 8 a.m. one, and I want to do the nighttime one. The 11 one was pretty hot out there, so thank you for giving us a bottle of water to take with us, because that definitely came in handy. It was pretty hot. So I had a question my son Brady asked me, because I was telling everybody that we were going, and he wanted to come too, but he had to go to work, but he wants to come next time for sure. But can you bring your own horse as well, or no?
No.
Okay.
Reason being, we know how to control our horses, number one. Number two is we don't know what disease that horse has been around in
Exactly.
other stables. And our horses are almost never sick. We don't have any problems out there, and we've been out there for years. The only time we ever have problems is if other horses come around, or if people come and bring them treats like green apples.
Really?
Yes. And people will try to bring them a treat and they can't digest it and they die. So other than that though, our horses are in great shape. They're really healthy and they never get sick.
There really are. He likes doing trails, so he wanted to bring his own, but I told him after doing the experience, there's no reason to, because there's some beautiful horses there. And my wife does the same. We have 6 goats in my house, and anytime she goes around other goats, she tries not to bring that home, because you can bring diseases.
Yeah, you can. The other thing we do is open trail rides where people do bring their own horses, but it's just that. You'll be, 8 or 10 or 12, 15 people that will come, and they'll each have a horse. We are members and very active in the backcountry horsemen.
Okay.
So everybody owns their own horse or their own mule, and we do a lot of the trail work, to build or repair trails for hiking, biking, and horseback riding.
Well, it's beautiful out there, and you said there's 2 different trails to do, and it's based on what time you go?
We have the Rim Ride, which is at the top of the mountain.
All right.
We have the Red Springs Ride, which is in the valley and down inside a Coyote Canyon, and it winds through and comes out facing Calico Basin. And then we have our Sunset Dinner Ride, Also goes down through the valley and through a different canyon that goes around the outside of the mountain. That one is a 2-hour trail. And then we have our hour trail at the midday. So 8 o'clock in the morning is the rim. At 11 o'clock we have the 1 hour. At 12 or sometimes 1 o'clock we have the hour and a half. And then again at 2 o'clock.
So the longest one is at 8 in the morning? That's a 2-hour
Yes, that's
one?
the 2 hour. The longest one is our 5-hour trail.
5 hours?
Yes. Our 5-hour trail is called the Wow Ride. We used to call it the
Wow.
lunch ride. But every time that everybody got up to the top of the mountain and came over the crest, they would see all of the Las Vegas Valley and their reaction was, wow.
Wow.
So we
5
changed it to the
hours.
Wow Ride. It's a 5-hour ride, and we take a pack mule with all the drinks and lunch, and we stop along the way and have lunch.
Do you do that in the summer as well, or when it's cooler?
We mainly do it in the fall, in the winter, and the spring, and not in the summer, just because of the heat. If it's not so hot, if it's in the 80s or 90s, then yeah, we can probably do that. But they'd be much more comfortable coming in the fall or the spring.
So I have to come back a bunch more times.
Yes,
thought it
you
was
do.
one more time, but wow, I got to come for a 5-hour tour.
Definitely have to come for the 5 hour.
Well, awesome. I mean, we're going to bring Kendra in a little bit. She's going to tell us about her experience out there. She's the one who kind of set everything up for us. Anything else you think anybody should know about your place? It wasn't that far away, I'll tell you what.
It wasn't. The distance from the strip, we time it to be under an hour anytime we have to pick anyone up. We have our own buses and vans that we pick up in.
So you do pick up?
We
okay.
offer free transportation to the daily rides.
How big of a group does that have to be for a pickup?
1.
1? Oh boy.
Yeah, we provide
You guys know how
transportation to
do
anybody
it.
that wants to go. And the group events, they can hire the buses.
Yeah.
They can come in and we will provide transportation, or they can hire their own buses on the outside.
Then there's no excuse not
There's
to
no
do it.
excuse not to come.
Yeah.
We're about 35 to 40 minutes from the strip, and we are west of Summerlin. We're only 6 miles west of the 215 in Charleston Boulevard.
We came from Centennial Hills. It took us about 25 minutes to get there. I think anywhere in town you could probably get there in under an hour. Once you
Yes.
got off the 215 on Charleston, it was a quick drive, a beautiful drive, and they'll pick you up from your hotel, so there is no excuse not to do it. So check out the YouTube video. You'll see how beautiful it is. And Georgie, I thank you so much for showing us this best kept secret that's not going to be a secret much longer.
Good, thank you very much. We're hoping to get lots of local families out. We would love to have the birthday parties and get to know our neighbors more.
I think once they see the video and they see how much fun you can have and how this is for any ages, I think it's going to be a perfect fit for anybody who wants to check it out. So thank you, and we're going to bring Kendra in to talk more about why she chose this as our next adventure. Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Jack.
Thanks for putting this wonderful adventure together. How did you find out about it?
Me and my husband, when we first moved here, we'd drive around Vegas just to see, and everyone said Red Rock is the place to go for views. And as we were driving around Red Rock, we saw trail rides, and I used to go on trail rides out in Arizona, and I was like, why not?
This wasn't your first time on a horse?
No.
How many times?
I can count 5, but I've probably been on more than that.
And did you have beautiful views last time you rode like you did this time?
I had Superstition Mountains. Have you ever been out to Arizona?
What was that?
Superstition Mountains?
Superstition?
Mm-hmm.
I think you made that up.
No, it's a beautiful big mountain east of Phoenix.
Okay.
It's
I'm
beautiful.
gonna just look that up because that doesn't sound.
There's a lot of ghost stories that has to do with Superstition Mountain, so you should look it up.
And they have horse trails there?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been in Vegas?
4 years now. 4 years.
So do you consider yourself a local?
Yes. I do just because I've visited enough places to kind of know the area now.
Do you feel like a local because you guys drive around?
I feel like a local just because I've been involved with the community around here.
All right, because Regis and I have been trying to come up with the right amount of time to be considered a local. So if you want to fast forward that, you can do what Kendra does, drive around, find new spots.
Get to know the place. It's more of just visiting and getting to know the place. But Regis, yeah, I consider he's still a newbie. He hasn't been here a year. I think after a year and you travel Vegas, I think you're considered a local.
How about if you watch 12 episodes of Selling Sin City, you are a local?
Well, we better get on those episodes then because we're on number 5.
Right, so you picked the Cowboy Trail Rides. Did
Yeah.
you have a good time?
I had a fantastic time for the most part.
What was your favorite part?
Mine was just interacting with all the horses. I could have been there all day.
My horse was named Elvis.
I know, and you're making fun of his big head. Because he was a mule. Did you know that?
He was huge.
He was, and you were thinking that he'd be this little thing.
No, he was 16 hands. For those of you who aren't familiar with horses, that's how you could tell how big they are.
Hmm.
And he was a big boy.
He was.
And I dropped a cheesy line when we started the trail. Elvis has left the building.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty lame.
I didn't even hear that.
I know, 'cause I whispered it. It was a little embarrassing, but I had to drop it, so I let it go.
I think I was more concerned with my daughter riding because it was her first time, so.
It was her first time riding.
Yeah.
She never made it to what you call mountain?
Superstition Mountain? No.
Superstitious mountain?
Superstition Mountain, and no, she was still very young. When we moved out here, she was just entering 6th grade.
Regis, can I get confirmation? Is that real?
You keep it going, I'll get
All
back
right,
to you.
he's looking it up for us. Because you've known to fib a little. So.
Oh, not as much as you, Jack.
So it was her first time, so that's, my daughter was out there too.
Hmm. And Orly's experienced.
She is experienced. It's been a couple of years for her, but she used to ride all the time, so.
It's kind of like riding a bike, though.
It is. It is. I mean, I was mentioning earlier that I'm starting lessons again this weekend because even though I did used to ride a lot, you kind of forget. When I got on, it kind of came back to me a little. My posture was pretty good. Expert Kelly told me.
No. Me and Kelly said you could sit up a little more.
I don't think that's true. People will see on the video. That was a pretty nice posture, but all right. I was a little rusty.
Well, it wasn't like you were slouching completely. You could have. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but
riding
more high.
5 times makes you an expert now?
No, I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I've ridden enough where I know if your posture's not right, you're sore the next day or right after.
Okay. Well, we'll let the people decide when they watch the video. But anyways, I am a little rusty, so lessons are starting again this weekend. What was your horse's name?
Mustang Sally.
Mustang Sally.
Hmm. She was a full-bred Mustang. She's
Wow.
beautiful. Her coloring is just amazing. You know how dogs have that like pretty blue-grayish sometimes when they get older in their coloring? That's what she had, but they said it's just because that's the way the sun bleaches her hair.
Did you pick Mustang Sally or did she pick you?
The Wrangler picked her for me, but the moment I got on her, I felt comfortable and she knew what she was doing. She was actually pretty stubborn, so trying to get her to go anywhere in the beginning was difficult, but she was good after that.
Did she try to stop for snacks on the way?
Once.
But you
I
didn't tell her what time it was?
Yeah, and then, but I guess horses mark their territory too. That one's new to me. All of them stopped at the same time to use the restroom. That was funny, but
I don't think there was a restroom out there.
it was everywhere.
All right. Well, thanks for mentioning the potty break. When Regis was on and we went to Tule Springs, he said there wasn't a duck bathroom, but I guess according to you, there's a horse bathroom.
Horses go where they want, just like a duck goes.
Okie dokie.
But they mark their territories, I guess. That's what they told me.
So something cute that your daughter said, since it was her first time, she was like, in the middle of the ride, she was like, can we do this again? And we weren't even finished yet, so I guess she had a good time?
I guess she wanted to keep going, but I guess when a little over halfway through the ride, she was done. I guess she was a little worried.
Worried about what?
Me.
You? What happened?
You know what happened?
I don't recall.
I did get a little mini heat stroke while I was out there.
Heat stroke?
Yeah, it was bad.
I didn't even notice.
You did too.
So we went at 11 o'clock, and it was pretty hot.
It was actually a excessive heat warning that day, yes.
So just like Kendra, she set us up on a trail ride during a heat warning, so thank you for that.
Well, the horses were fine. I actually found out that they can withstand really high temperatures. I was more worried about the horses, not us.
The horses can withstand it, but Kendra can't.
Oh, I guess I can't.
So let's run a thorough investigation here since you brought this up. I wasn't going to bring it up. Did you hydrate enough that day?
I did.
You did?
And the day before.
Okay, because the day before we were celebrating having an amazing month and we were popping some champagne. So is that a form of hydration?
That isn't, but I've been drinking water all day that day, and in the evening when I got home, and in the morning.
All right, so you had a lot of quality H2O.
Water, yes, straight water, nothing with sugar in it.
All right, so let's continue the investigation. It was about 110, 16?
I think at
14?
that time it was 110, yeah.
And we just found out from Georgie that the elevation was pretty high.
I didn't even think that could have been a factor.
All right, so since you brought it up and I wasn't, I'm
Well, I thought that was the highlight of the whole thing.
Well, my investigation skills helped me find out that you might have had some cocktails that morning. Is that true or no?
I had really 2 small mimosas.
Oh, here we go.
Really 2 small ones. You can even
we
ask
go.
a team member. They were extremely small. I would say a cup. Like literally the size of a measuring cup, a cup.
So when Regis looks up whatchamacall mountain,
Superstition mountain.
he can also look up and see if mimosas are a form of hydration.
Mimosas.
What is that? That's not what it's called?
It's mimosas.
Mimosa?
Yeah, mimosa basically, but it's mimosa.
Okay.
Mimosa sounds like a mermaid cocktail. That sounds delicious.
Oh, well,
Superstition Mountain is a range of mountains in Arizona.
all right. So Kendra was telling the truth about the mountains. She lied about the hydration. So you're 1 for 1. That's pretty good.
I didn't lie. I still drank a lot of water.
So mimosas, whatever cocktail it is, probably not a smart idea in a heat warning when we're going to go horseback riding.
I don't think it was really the champagne. I think it was the orange juice.
You're going to blame it on the orange
I'm going to
juice?
blame it on the citric acid in the orange juice, yeah. I don't like drinking orange juice before I go outside in the heat because for some reason, it just makes me sick to my stomach.
I'm going to blame it on the alcohol. But it's okay. You survived?
I survived. It happened fairly quickly. All I remember is asking everybody for water instantly. And then I got extremely dizzy, and then I got really sick. And so when I said I wasn't feeling good, Kelly actually had to yell back that I wasn't feeling good because she couldn't hear me. And then she ran over. I slouched over on the horse. The horse completely stopped. And then they're like, you need to get off the horse before you fall off the horse. So I got off, and then I thought I was going to get sick again.
That was so amazing, though, how they handled the situation.
It was-
They had somebody in the front of the trail, the back of the trail, but for them, once you were passed out and they just threw you on top of the horse like a sack of potatoes and we rode back with you.
I wish that was true, but I actually, once I sat down and drank like 10 bottles of water and was in the shade for 5 minutes, I was feeling good and ready, and I hopped right back on like nothing happened.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome how I just all of a sudden came in with Elvis and we jumped over a couple boulders and we came in to rescue you and we dumped water on you like you won the Super Bowl, and then you came back to life.
Is that a Western movie? Because that did not happen.
How do you know? You were passed out.
I was not passed out. I almost fainted.
I have video to prove this.
Okay. I can't wait to see that video because that's not what happened.
I rescued you on Red Rock Mountain,
Okay.
not what you
Jack
call
Wick.
mountain. Yeah, it was It was a good time. I'm glad you scarred your daughter on her first ride ever.
Yeah,
Does she want to go back? Or
definitely.
Just without you?
No, I told her I'd be a little more aware of my diet before and the weather and not be more concerned about the horses, but be more concerned about ourselves.
Well, that's not. I don't want to blame you fully on this, even though I like blaming you for stuff.
All the time.
Kelly had a hard time before we were about to start, and when I gave her a chill towel, that really turned things around. You were sweet enough to bring everybody chill towels, so I think you rescued Brandon
Everybody.
and Jason and everybody. So
And I ended up getting sick. It's like, hey, I'm the one that planned all this, and I'm the one that was concerned with the horses, and I'm the one that ended up sick. But to me, I was very grateful of their response time when I told them I wasn't feeling good. I think they've experienced it enough to help us, and they already had an ATV already headed out to come get me, and then I hopped back on the horse, and they were amazed.
they were great out there. What'd you say, Regis is whispering in my ear right now, saying that this is karma for setting up a ride at 114-degree weather.
I was actually thinking that, not Regis saying
that's so nice.
anything.
It
was
stuff
karma.
like that, Regis.
But it was fun. Besides the heat, it was fun.
It was great, and you put it together, and I really thank you, because Kelly hasn't been on a horse in a couple years. For me, it's been a couple years, and I got my fire back. I'm going this weekend again, so.
I think Devin's going to start taking those riding lessons too. She's always been wanting them, and I've always had an excuse not to, and now there's no excuse.
I thought you scared her off the horses once you passed out on your horse.
Nope.
All right.
I scared her. She was more worried about making sure I was okay, because luckily she has her driver's license. She can drive home, but.
Yeah, it was a rough day, because we were calling you to check in on you every 5 minutes. Everybody was worried about you. And
Yeah, and I appreciate that, even though you give me a hard time a lot. It just proves you care.
Yeah, I just, it was a hot one, and I thought more people would pass out, but good thing it was only you, and you bounced back quick. So they do have an 8 o'clock one, which probably would have been better for you to set us up on that one.
I wasn't notified of that one. Otherwise, I totally would have jumped on that one. I think it was fully booked, because when we got there, they were coming in, and there was like 30 people on that one.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm interested in doing the dinner one.
Well, our daughters, their birthdays are coming up in a couple months. They want to do that for their birthday.
The dinner one? Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good time.
I'm like excited. All the foods they're talking about, like a baked potato over a fire, yes, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that one for sure in September, October. It's going to be cooler, so you can have more mimosas, mermaid, whatever those cocktails are.
Mimosas.
Mimosas. You can have as many as you want when it's 80, 90 degrees outside.
Not when I'm driving home. But if my husband wants to be DD, then I'm all about it.
All right, that's good to have a DD for sure.
But yeah, they also have a 1:30, which I think that would have been extremely hot for us.
They had a 1:30 after us?
And that's
that's right. People were showing up after us.
An hour and a half trail ride on that one.
Well, it's a good time. Thanks for scheduling it. Can you tell everybody listening what adventures we have coming up?
We have actually a month's worth, a lot. We have goat yoga. We're going to do a zip line. We haven't decided the location on that one yet.
Who's planning the goat yoga?
Brandon is. It's finally Brandon's turn to get behind the mic.
Now, as you know, I have goats.
Yes.
And some of these goats I don't want jumping on me when I'm doing yoga. So can we find out if they're really babies or?
They are young goats because they are really heavy. So
I need a weight limit here, right? I'm a professional goat person.
Oh, you are?
No. But goat lady, my spouse is.
Wow, Kelly, yes, she knows everything.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I'd like to know the weight limit of these goats.
Well, you'll know the weight limit when we show up and go do it.
No, I'm still a little sore from horseback riding, so we got to make sure these are really babies. And then what else do we have?
We also we're going on the trail rides that you go on in Boulder. And then we are going to do a tour of Lake Mead and check out Hoover Dam. We are also going to do a 5-episode of winemaking because there is a winery down here in Henderson.
we have a winery.
There's also a whiskey one. I want to try the whiskey one too. You get to make homemade whiskey.
I don't know if the team we have, it's a good idea to do a whiskey one. But,
I know our whiskey is magically disappearing out of our office.
Yes, brought in a bottle of Crown, and it's down to the last couple of drops. And
And that's been over a few months, so.
I don't know about that.
But our whole team is whiskey drinkers, that's for sure.
Do you use whiskey in mimosas?
No, that's champagne and orange juice, sir.
So you had back-to-back champagne days?
Yeah, champagne's my go-to for something easy to make me feel good.
I think that was the first time I had champagne.
I know you were just amazed of how good it tasted with
Yeah, I had
that bowl.
Yeah, I had is it ahi, or I don't know how to say it.
Acai?
Acai?
Acai bowl? I don't know. We have to learn how to pronounce that word. Oh yeah, acai. For 4 letters, that's a lot of pronunciation.
All right, you guys have too many tongue twisters today. Mimosa, whatchamacallit.
But you were feeling good after one drink of that champagne, sir. The whole team noticed that.
It was tasty with those strawberries. I just wanted to mix everything together and make a smoothie.
Well, champagne is actually best paired with strawberries.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if I had champagne before. Maybe on my wedding. I don't remember. I don't know. All right.
But yeah, we're definitely good. The wine one will be fun. I can't wait for that one.
And you've already done that one, right?
I've done partial of it because once COVID hit, we weren't allowed to participate. But since COVID, they started new regulations where there's smaller groups, and we can actually be there for the entire process this time.
So you just started it. You haven't gone through the whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, nice. You'll get to go through it with the whole team. Your bottle finished 3rd, you said?
3rd place, we got a bronze medal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go for gold this time? Because we're not about...
Well, it's the
place.
grape you choose, and that's the awesome thing is that we all get to vote on the grape that we want to crush. I did a Russian River grape this last time around, and I'm excited to try it. They let you taste the grapes too.
I thought you had to wait 3 years.
To drink it,
Okay.
but they let you try the grapes that you want to crush. It's really cool. It's amazing.
Before we go, be honest with me. Have you opened your bottle yet?
No, I have not. And you gave mine away. The one I gave you.
No, it's at home.
The truth finally comes out on a
Probably won't
podcast.
Let me give it away. But I have to. Who waits 3 years? I mean,
Well, it's going to be really good tasting.
there's
wine.
no way.
The best wines are like 15, 20 years bottled?
Yeah, but you have back-to-back champagne days. You're not waiting 3 years.
I am because I've told you don't get the flavor like you expect.
Okay, because last time I saw Mike, he told me that you popped it open, then you filled it up with grape juice, and you're telling everybody I'm waiting 3 years.
No, me and him did come to an agreement at our 5-year wedding anniversary. We will open it, but it had only been 2 years since it's been made.
I can't figure out that math. That sounds complicated. But
So we've already been married for 3 years, and then in 2 years on our 5-year anniversary, we're going to open a bottle of wine.
but I thought you had to wait 3.
You can open it up too. It's just not going to taste the same,
So then it won't go from 3rd place. It'll be like a 12th place bottle.
I guess.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for picking this amazing adventure, Cowboy Trail Rides. You can go to cowboytrailrides.com, 702-387-2457, and check out the video on YouTube.
And talk to Georgie.
Talk to Georgie. Thanks, Kendra, for surviving. We need you.
Oh, it's glad to be needed. Anytime.